It's Friday, November 15th, 2024. Welcome to episode 129 of the Alameda Postcast, an audio service of the Alameda Post. I'm your host, Scott Peeler. In this edition of the Postcast, a judgment against Barnhill Marina's owners. The City Council grapples with the airport and admonishment. Mountain bikers and hikers look for common ground. Changes at the Alameda Point Collaborative. Tips on lowering your heating bill. More national recognition for Fixque. And a chance to double your support for the Alameda Post. These stories and more on this episode of the Alameda Postcast. Our top story. Since all the way back in episode 2 in May of 22, we've been following the saga of one of Alameda's quirkiest neighborhoods, Barnhill Marina. Created in 1960, this eclectic collection of floating homes has been an oasis of affordable housing for decades. When a controlling interest in the marina was sold to Valley Investment Redwoods of Richmond, the problems began, with rent increases and court cases challenging the legitimacy of Alameda's renter protection laws as they applied to Barnhill. Last November, as reported in episode 80, the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California confirmed the city of Alameda's rent control protections for houseboats and liveaboard vessels at floating home marinas and dismissed a Valley Investments lawsuit with prejudice. In April of this year, the city attorney's office, along with the county DA's office, brought an enforcement action against Valley Investments, alleging continuing unfair practices. This week, an Alameda County Superior Court judge ruled that the owners, Valley, and the manager, Amarpal Narang, did use unlawful tactics to force out longtime tenants. These tactics included drastically and illegally raising rents and interfering with the residents' right to sell their floating homes. The injunction prohibits Valley and Narang from further interfering with tenants attempting to sell their homes or harassing other residents of the marina. A fine of over $335,000 was also assessed. In a separate case, a San Joaquin County court has appointed a receiver to take control of Barnhill Marina, meaning that Narang and Valley are no longer managing the marina or collecting rents. Eventually, there will be new owners at Barnhill when the property emerges from receivership. For details on this latest development, see alamedapost.com/news. Last week, the City Council heard the latest update on the final environmental impact report for the Oakland Airport. And yes, it's officially the Oakland Airport for the time being, as U.S. Magistrate Judge Thomas Hickson ruled this week that changing the name to San Francisco Bay Oakland International Airport would be confusing, and has issued a temporary injunction preventing the name change. But back to the subject at hand. The Port of Oakland is looking to modernize and rebuild existing terminal and cargo facilities, expand parking, and build a new passenger terminal that would result in a net addition of 16 passenger gates. The city has expressed skepticism about some of the port's findings, notably the idea that a new terminal would not mean an increase in air traffic. The port maintains that an increase in arrivals and departures is actually a function of socioeconomic conditions or the result of new runways, which are not part of this project. City staff will continue to analyze the impact report and meet in a closed session with the council on Tuesday the 19th to finalize a comment letter to the port and discuss potential for litigation. That wasn't the only contentious subject on the docket. In the wake of the October 18th Long Beach incident involving Councilmember Trish Herrera Spencer, Mayor Marilyn Ezzy Ashcraft and Councilmember Malia Vela drafted a resolution to admonish Herrera Spencer for her behavior, which they believe violated council code of conduct. As noted in episode 127, admonishment is the lowest level of rebuke, legislatively speaking. Not as strong as a reprimand or censure, it's essentially an expression of disapproval. With Spencer absent from the proceedings, public comment ran largely in her support, with concerns raised over misinformation and insufficient evidence. With Ashcraft and Vela making the case for admonishment, Vice Mayor Tony Desog and Councilmember Tracy Jensen were opposed. Desog declared that body cam footage and a police report were not enough evidence to make a conclusion of public intoxication, while Jensen declared, quote, "I'm concerned about my colleague's health. Councilmember Spencer has already suffered much in the court of public opinion, and I don't think that a censure by members of this body will do anything other than to place blame that may or may not be warranted," end quote. Ultimately, without a majority, the item was closed without a motion. Mayor Ashcraft concluded, quote, "I believe that all the evidence does point to public intoxication. It is also my first hope that our council member will recover and seek help," end quote. Ken Durr has full details at alamedapost.com/news. As far as what the city council will look like next year, changes are definitely coming. While votes are still being counted, not much has changed since the last update. Michelle Pryor and Greg Bowler remain comfortably in the lead for the two available seats. Tushan Amara Siriwardena has moved into third place, a handful of votes ahead of Trish Herrera Spencer. Steve Slauson is a distant fifth. Bart, Ebmud, and East Bay Park still look to be Victor Flores, Jim Odie, and Luana Espana. Heather Little, Jennifer Williams, and Malia Hall appear to be on their way to being seated on the Alameda Unified School Board, with Joyce Boyd trailing by a significant margin. Latifah Simon has been declared the winner over Jennifer Tran to replace Barbara Lee in the U.S. House. Berkeley Mayor Jesse Aragon retains his lead for State Senate District 7, although that race has yet to be called. 8 of 10 ballot measures have been called. The 2 remaining are 32, the minimum wage hike, which is trending no, while Measure 34, regarding health care provider spending, is trending yes. An update from the county registrar is expected today, Friday. You can find the latest results at alamedapost.com/election. The East Bay Regional Park District has 1,330 miles of trails throughout the system, hiking only, equestrian only, mountain bikes only, and multi-use. Mountain bikers have access to about 800 miles of the multi-use trails, but are currently prohibited from narrower trails, which riders refer to as single track. Cyclists are looking to expand that access. You would think this would be a relatively non-controversial topic. You'd be wrong. Cycling enthusiasts have been working to be elected to Sierra Club leadership and turn that organization in a more bike-friendly direction. A leaked email from former Richmond Mayor Tom Butt has stirred the pot a bit, exhorting fellow cyclists to continue their efforts but to avoid telling non-mountain bikers, because if conservationists, quote, discover our efforts, they may well be able to counter them, end quote. So, essentially, cyclists are looking to have more trails open to them. Some hikers dislike sharing the trails, and some have expressed concern over habitat preservation. And there's other contingents, equestrians and those who enjoy hiking with their dogs. Another potentially concerning item, this past year, the Park District Board of Directors voted to allow Class 1 electric bikes on all trails where bikes are permitted. Class 1 bikes are capable of motor speeds of 20 miles per hour. Ultimately, it's about sharing and maximizing one of the East Bay's most amazing assets, a trail system that is the envy of other municipalities. For a look at the current conversation and background surrounding this issue, see Irene Dieter's article at alamedapost.com/news. The Alameda Point Collaborative is celebrating 25 years of guiding the unhoused to permanent housing situations. Their latest project, the McKay Avenue Senior Housing and Medical Respite Center. For 20 of those 25 years, Doug Biggs has served as executive director. This year, he's passing the torch as he retires. He's seen a lot of success stories over the years, but is looking forward to spending more time with his grandkids, but he won't be stepping away completely. He'll continue to help with the development of certain APC projects on a consulting basis. Tonight, Friday, from 5:30 to 8:30 at 2550 Monarch Street, APC celebrates their 25th anniversary and salutes Doug's 20 years of service. For details on the event, see 94501.info. For a deep dive into Doug's fascinating background and his favorite achievements, see Kelsey Gore's article at alamedapost.com/news. You might have noticed it's gotten a bit colder these past few nights. That means higher heating bills, but there are ways you can lower those bills while also lessening the environmental impact of heating your home. From smart thermostats to weather stripping to the simple act of putting on a sweater, Joyce Mercado has tips to keep those winter bills in check. Find her suggestions at alamedapost.com/features. Congratulations again to the folks at Fixque Barbecue. Already named one of the New York Times favorite 50 restaurants in America, they've added another award to their trophy case. Eater.com has named them one of the 14 best new restaurants in the United States. Another local favorite has set up new digs after starting their half-baked pizza delivery service in the heart of pandemic. Share Pizza now has a brick-and-mortar home, 1930 Main Street, in the former Whisk Cake Creations location in between Monkey Tie and Hometown Donuts. The home order business is still going, but now you can pick up fully baked pies and even stop in for a slice. Made my bike ride very tasty the other day. Normally at this point in the postcast, I'd be featuring some weekend events for you. This week, I'll leave that to Amanda Laird's all-around Alameda column in our features section and additional ideas at 94501.info. This week, I'd like to take a moment to encourage you to show your support for the Post and make your dollars go twice as far. Thanks to Newsmatch, which is a collaborative fundraising movement that supports public service journalism, and local funders Radium Presents and Alice Home Care, your contribution will be doubled. From now through December 31st, donations to the Post are being matched up to $1,000 per individual and up to $25,000 in total. And believe me, for an organization like the Post, an extra $25,000 goes a very long way. If you've never donated before, now's the time. We receive bonuses for new donors. Visit omella.com/Alameda Post to give now. That's omella.com/Alameda Post. And remember, we're a 501c3 organization, so your donation is deductible. Thank you for your support of local news for Alameda. Find us on all the usual social media sites. We also have our very own subreddit, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel on Apple News. Find the Postcast wherever you get your podcasts, or simply tell your smart device to play the Alameda Postcast podcast. I'm Scott Peeler. I'll be back next Friday with episode 130 of the Alameda Postcast.